But right now, we're being called to release our attachments to what was, to what is, so that we can allow what is to become. It's stressful when you awaken and you feel like you have to be mindful and aware of every single thing. And you will find yourself constantly scanning yourself for what's wrong with me, what's wrong with my reality, what's wrong with my partner, what's wrong with my children, because there is this internal system that wants to fix everything, right? This is the difficulty of being called to be the one that heals generational curses, because we have this operating system that's embedded within our soul where we know that we are supposed to be a solution. Look at the word solution, solution. That's what I say. We know this, but there is a point where you can fix something until you break it. And a lot of us break our own heart. We break our own confidence. We break our own capacity to connect with spirit because we're constantly searching for what needs to be fixed. And there will always be something that needs to be fixed. There will always be something that needs to be done. And if you are finding yourself overwhelmed by the stress of life, by the demand of life, it is likely that you have awakened a higher dimensional version of yourself who's having to still deal with everything that was seeded and planted in the womb of your mother's mother, that was passed down to your mother, which was passed down to you within your chromosomes, within your mitochondrial DNA. And you are carrying that mantle, and you also carry the desire to be better, to improve, to learn, to evolve, to grow. We must learn to accept what we cannot control so that we can save our energy for what actually deserves our attention. Many of us are going through life. Life is life, and it will continue. Pluto's position alone is bringing in endings of so many things. And anytime something is ending, there is a period of confusion. There is a period of denial. There is a period of bargaining. This is when you're like, okay, I don't have Jesus anymore. I don't have the religions that I used to depend on. I've awakened from that. This is a painful place to be in, because the tools that you were taught to use, like prayer, who am I praying to? Who is this God that has allowed so many wars and so much blood to be shed? And I've learned so much. So I need to do something different. And I know that. And you start bargaining and you start promising, like, I promise, if universe, if you just bring me this, I'll do that. If you just fix this for me, I'll do that. And we get stuck in that space. And this is the cycle of the healer who is still wounded. And the only way for us to shift past the wounding is to see the beauty in the wound. The wound is not ugly. I speak from personal experience, where coming from being a model and a video girl and all of the things that I had done since I was 5 years old, to have scars all over my body, I felt so broken. I felt as if a masterpiece had been destroyed, and I carried shame. And this was representation of what I was carrying emotionally. Emotionally, I carried pain. I carried these wounds, and I was so good at putting a smile on my face, you would never know. I knew how to put my makeup on where you wouldn't know that I was up crying all night long. I learned it early. I learned it when I was in high school. I knew I couldn't go to school every day looking like this, so I need to figure out a way to hide it. I got to conceal. And this is when I learned to conceal, conceal, conceal. And so many of us have been concealing for so long that now those emotional wounds are unsealing. They're opening up, not to bring destruction, but to activate the phoenix within us. We have until 2027 And there will be a major shift that's going to occur in 2027 where many of us will look back at the ashes that are in front of us now and see the beauty of the phoenix that they created. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what problem it is. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how many times it happened, how many people died, how many people sick, how many people's this. One thing is for sure about humanity becoming divinity, is that we never cease to exist. We are here to evolve. We are here to be enlightened beyond these experiences. It doesn't mean we won't feel, because a lot of us feel more deeply than we ever felt before, because we're finally allowing ourselves to feel. We're allowing ourselves to meet our true self. That's how it happens, through feeling your true self, through feeling the anger and the rage that you had to repress, to feeling the guilt and the shame that you carried, but you didn't want nobody to know because you needed to be seen as a functional adult. So many things that we have carried, and it's just not working for a lot of us. A lot of us are dealing with fatigue. A lot of us are dealing with headaches, ringing in the ears, pain, and it's a crossover between awakening ascension symptoms and clearing the generational template. This is the power of our wounds. This is the power of our trauma. This is the power of our shadows. For those of us who are old enough, this was mentioned to me and it's coming up. For those of us who are old enough to have children who are old enough to talk back to us, yeah, you're starting to meet parts of you that you passed on to your child because you didn't have the courage or the know-how to confront it. Our children are aspects of our shadow selves. They are also aspects of our ancestors. And when you combine ancestral lineage with shadow self, you have children maybe who are very confusing, seem very complicated. One minute they love you, the next minute they can't stand you. You don't understand what's going on. This is healing taking place. It's nothing wrong. It's nothing going wrong. See, the thing about being a spiritual being is that there is no failure, because every failure is proof that you had the courage to try something. You can't fail at something unless you had the courage to try it. So it's never a failure. It's proof of your courage that you was willing to try. A lot of our children were created in chaos. While we were in chaos, while our minds were in chaos, while our emotions were not grounded, we were not centered, we did not know who we were. We were still living in the identity that we had to take on as avatars to navigate the dysfunctional family systems that we signed up for so that we could learn to heal and overcome. And this is where a lot of us are. This is what I call the void space. It's an uncomfortable space. It's a space where you're unsure if what you're doing is working and whether or not you should keep doing it, or should I do something else? Should I just give up? Should I keep trying? Well, I don't want to quit, but sometimes surrendering is necessary. That's not quitting. Surrendering is an act of self-love where you are observing something that you realize you cannot control. So to surrender to that is to allow the cycle of rebirth, of endings and beginnings. We cannot micromanage the laws of the universe. And so many people out there got videos making it seem like we're controllers of our reality and every aspect of your reality should be scripted and it should go just like that. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. That's the Kool-Aid that wounded healers drink when they don't want to feel bad about where they feel like they have failed. And I'm telling you, if you don't surrender, you will burn out.